preserving our heritage through music, language, and culture. Exceptionally educational and entertaining. We are Notes of Slovakia online radio show.
Vítajte v relácii Hlasy Slovenska.
With your host Mike Wojtyla of the USA and
Slavomír Vojtila zo Slovenska.
We present for you Slovak music, polka, folk, pop from the past, present, and everything in between. We have 3 great features in every show.
Learning Slovak language, Slovak Spotlight, Past and Present Day Slovakia.
3 skvelé výhody, ktoré získate počúvaním tejto relácie. Naučite sa slovenský jazyk, vyzdvihnete svoju slovenskú osobnosť a dozviete sa o histórii a súčasnosti Slovenska.
You can tune us in right here at notesofslovakia.com, on our YouTube channel, and on 247polkaheaven.com. If you like our show, like us on Facebook, facebook.com/notesofslovakia. Stay tuned to an action-packed Notes of Slovakia show. Welcome to the show today. This is Mike Wojtyla. We thank you so much for tuning into our program. Let's start off today's show with
Vysoká Gurka by Kolárovci.
Dean Hansen and his accordion orchestra from Omaha, Nebraska, an old Slovak number called In a Little Grove Polka. Before this, we heard
Verbung by Muzička.
Friends, are you looking for your ancestors in Europe? Well, when you are, we highly recommend Juraj Cesarsik. Juraj Cesarsik is an archive researcher and tourist guide. He specializes in records and ancestral searches. He speaks Slovak, English, Polish, Czech, Russian, and has excellent working knowledge of Hungarian place names and old Slavonic folk costumes. His easygoing, patient style allows him to work well with local officials and priests where diplomacy is a key skill. He has arranged many reunions of Slovak families with their missing family members from the USA, Canada, England, Italy, and France. His services are genealogical searching at the State Archives of Slovakia and providing tour guide as hired by Days in Slovakia. For more information on archived researcher and tourist guide Juraj Cesarsik, log on to notesofslovakia.com. Under advertisers, there's a direct link and a bio of Juraj's information. Or simply email Juraj at jurajcisarik@hotmail.com. Once again, his email address is jurajcisarik@hotmail.com. And please be sure to tell him you heard his ad right here on Notes of Slovakia online radio show. Stay tuned, friends. Coming up after this next number will be our first of three features, Learning Slovak Language. Let's hear
ZRPŠ by Pavel Hamel and Prudy.
Výborná, kľúč od krásnych prázdnin. Výborná, tá známka detských snov. Príliš vzácny výskyt v riadkoch žiackej knižky. Výborná, ak tak z telocviku máva zvláštnu príchuť. Výborná, priatelia, tí vždy pri sebe stáli. Priatelia, tí mali svoj tajný kód. Fúzi dejateľom, zápas s vlastným telom. Priatelia, vážnosť prvej zbierky, krásny úsmev Vierky z 5. A. Pri poslednom litri vína každý rád si zaspomína na ten čas, pomalý čas malín. Teraz sme už združení v rodičovskom združení rodičov a priateľov našich škôl. Pri poslednom litri vína každý rád si zaspomína na ten čas, pomalý čas malý. Teraz sme už združení v rodičovskom združení rodičov a priateľov našich škôl. Výborná, kľúč od krásnych prázdnin. Výborná tá známka detských snov. Známa biela kostra stále mátal postrach triednych kníh. Fajčil na záchode, bude z neho vrah a zlodej záletník. Dievčatá, tie pri nás vždy stáli. Dievčatá, poznali náš tajný kód. Láska na výlete, výprask v kabinete nebolí. Kým sme stáli v kúte, hrial nás duši útek do polí. Pri poslednom litri vína každý rád si zaspomína na ten čas, pomalý čas malín. Teraz sme už združení v rodičovskom združení rodičov a priateľov našich škôl. Pri poslednom litri vína každý rád si zaspomína na ten čas, pomalý čas malín. Teraz sme už združení v rodičovskom združení rodičov a priateľov našich škôl.
Learning Slovak language.
And today we go to Lovoša, Slovakia. We have a special feature. Usually Slavomir presents this Learning Slovak language. But today we can't get much more present than a recording that was done just last week, March 12th, 2019. We're going to the School of St. Francis of Assisi Secondary Grammar School. The class is Sexta A class, and there are 16 teenagers in the class. We thank their teacher, Natalia, for agreeing with yours truly, Mike Wojtyla, in the idea of having her students record in both Slovak and English for this special feature right here on Notes of Slovakia show. Let's listen to her students right now, class Sexta A. They'll tell you all about our special project.
Small town called Levoča in Klášterská Street, our high school is built. At first sight, the building is not so special. It is as yellow as warm sunny rays, with several big wooden windows and huge door which welcomes everybody who is arriving. The building is ordinary, but people who are the heart of this school make this place wonderful. When you are staying in the main hallway, you can see many students laughing and going to their classrooms, and teachers hurrying up with books in their hands. You can hear different sounds, like questions of students at lessons of physics, biology, chemistry. You can also listen to the voice of teachers who are trying to explain their students something new. Atmosphere is very friendly. We have really good relationships between each other, teachers and students.
The official name of our school is St. Francis of Assisi Secondary Grammar School. Probably you have heard something about Francis. He was born in Italy and his father was a rich man, but Francis wanted to live simple life, to help poor people and to pray to God. He became an Italian Catholic friar, a deacon and a preacher. Francis is a saint patron of our school and takes care about all. We are a Catholic school. It means we have school masses regularly in the chapel or in the church. The teachers, the students will want to improve themselves, and friendly atmosphere make our school extraordinary.
We are students of Sexta A class. We are 16 teenagers in the class. Today, we would like to introduce you a book written in 1954 by an outstanding Slovak poet, Jan Smrek, which accompanied the childhood of us, our moms and dads, and even our grandparents. The book Malovaná abeceda, The Painted Alphabet, is a collection of quadruple rhymes that children can remember before they realize what the alphabet is, and they can expand their vocabulary and improve memory. We try to translate some of the rhymes or letters so that you can get the idea what they are about. We have to chosen the letters which make Slovak language typical. Some words were difficult to translate because even we use them very rarely. We consider them archaic. We also try to explain the meaning and sometimes we add some more examples of the letters.
Letter A. In Slovak we spell it A. Adam v škole nesedel, abecedu nevedel. Prišli k nemu líšky, čítali mu z knižky. The rhyme says, Adam didn't sit at school, so he couldn't understand the alphabet. The foxes came to visit him. They were reading a fairy tale to him. The explanation. The children in Slovakia start going to school at the age of 6. The first subjects they learn are reading and writing. This poem is kind of motivation for them.
Letter B. Mľačia ovce za rána, bača pečie barana. Babke tečú slinky, na kus baraninky. Sheep are doing baba, the shepherd is baking a lamb. Granny's mouth is watering, she wants a big piece of it.
Letra Č. Čučoriedky, černice, mám ich vyše čapice. Tuto si ich majte, čokolády dajte. Blueberries, blackberries, got them over cap. Here they are, give me some chocolate instead. Blueberries and blackberries are local forest fruit in Slovakia. They are collected by people in late summer and our moms prepare delicious cakes or marmalades of them.
Letter D. Dedo, deti, rodina, dub pri dube, dubina. Zaspievali vtáky, poďte na dubáky. Grandpa, children, family, there are many oaks in the forest. Birds were singing, pick up some mushrooms.
Letter D. Ďobe ďateľ do kôry, červíček mu hovorí. Neďob moju ríšu, rozďobeš mi skríšu. Woodpecker is pecking at the bark. A worm is talking to it. Don't peck into my world. You will rip my shelter. The letter D is very special in Slovak alphabet. It's soft consonant and we have other words with this letter. Ďatelina, šemrok, ďakujem, thanks, ďasno, tea the rich, ďalekohľad, field glass.
We appreciate the chance to be in your radio. Translating and reading our notes is a chance to practice our knowledge of English. We hope you enjoy Slovak language and we also hope you have learned something new.
This is part 1 of a series of 2. Be sure to tune into our next Notes of Slovakia show, number 9, for the continuation of this Slovak ABC book featuring Sexta A class, St. Francis of Assisi Secondary Grammar School from Lvovsha, Slovakia, recorded here in March 12th, 2019. Let's continue on with some good Slovak music. Here is
Kamarátko moja a okolo Levoči, Ania Nestadzi by Šarišan.
Kamarátko just a boy, because I grew up thinking life was all fun and joy. But Dad worked in a coal mine, I watched him tire and die. Exactly 1 year later, Mom left with us outside. My life was now so lonely without my family's love, but Dad had often told me, find guidance from above. My first shift in the coal mine, toting coal on my back. The dust changed my skin's color, just like Dad, I am black. Saving all my money, taking a lovely wife, we crossed the sky blue ocean to start a brand new life. I now have a new playground here in America. While you know where your heart is, mine's in Slovakia. I love Slovakia.
Slovak Spotlight.
Dobrý den, greetings. I am Dr. Michael Kopanic, or Kopanic in Slovak, and I will be speaking on this short segment of Notes of Slovakia. As noted in our previous program, I am a history professor and teach at the University of Maryland University College. Today I will be presenting a talk about Slovakia's first Declaration of Independence in 1939. Independence is samostatnosť in Slovak. Slovakia's first taste of independence came 80 years ago on March 14, 1939, and it only lasted for the duration of World War II. Without a doubt, that experience was unfortunately tainted by the international events at the time. But it took the Velvet Revolution of 1989 and the end of communism to make real independence of Slovak a possibility. Since the breakup of Czechoslovakia in 1993, Slovakia has shown it can do well as a small independent country. Relations with the Czechs today are as constructive as they have ever been, and the boogeyman of obtaining more autonomy in a centralized Czechoslovakia, or a hyphen Czechoslovakia, is now part of history. As the New Statesman pointed out, Slovakia's leaving the Czechoslovak state has actually enabled both countries to focus on other issues besides obtaining more national rights. When the Czechoslovak state was first forming during World War I, many Slovaks wanted autonomy in a common state with the Czechs. They achieved that in October 1938, but only when the Munich Agreement had weakened the central government in Prague. Slovaks created an autonomous province in a Czechoslovak Federal Republic. But outside interference from Hitler accelerated history in this case. It was not a natural process. External intervention proved crucial in compelling Slovakia to divorce itself from the Czechs. In March 1939, the Czechoslovak central government, led by President Emil Hácha, played into the hands of Hitler by attempting to suppress the autonomous Slovak government. Slovak leaders would then declare independence under German pressure. So this was born in such trying times and tainted by the affiliation with Hitler's Germany, and that's why the Slovak state did not survive World War II. But the idea that Slovaks should have self-rule did survive, and the example of this first experience without a doubt impacted what happened after 1989. Now, a few selections I have here from below are from a book written in Slovak by Professor Milan Ďurica, A History of Slovakia and the Slovaks, and I know Professor Ďurica and have visited with him a number of times. He is very old in age, but he's intimately familiar with the archives in Slovakia. In March 1939, the Czechoslovak government decided it would dissolve the autonomous Slovak government and institute a state of martial law. There had been some trouble, and Haka decided he would take matters into his own hands. Slovakia would be left with a choice to declare independence or risk becoming part of a reconstituted Hungary at this time. The Hungarian regime had wanted to recover lands it had lost after World War I, which included Slovakia, the Subcarpathian Rus area, Transylvania, and parts of Yugoslavia. The following passage shows how German pressure bore on Slovakia in March of 1939. Compelling the Slovak Prime Minister to convene a meeting after midnight showed the kind of pressure Germany was putting on Slovakia. The time of day alone is very significant, as German statements were loaded with double talks and threats. On March 12, 1939, in the early hours after midnight, the Slovak Prime Minister, for a few days only, Karl Sidor, announced the visit of certain Germans. Sidor received them at 3 a.m., that early, in the government office. Dr. Wilhelm Kepler headed the German delegation, along with some German delegates from Vienna, including Seyss Inquart. They wanted to find out Sidor's view of the current situation. The German Kepler emphasized that, he did not mind interfering in the internal affairs of Slovakia, but the Fuhrer had received a telegram asking for assistance for the independence of Slovakia, and he wanted to find out what were the intentions of the Slovak government. Sidor said he knew nothing about such telegrams, and Slovak political leaders had decided on a gradual and evolutionary approach to preparing for Slovak independence. For this reason, the Slovak government did not intend to proclaim independence without appropriate preparations. And right around the same time, German secret agents had placed explosives under the Jesuit monastery building in Bratislava, where Dr. Josef Tiso, the former and future prime minister, and really the most influential Slovak leader at the time, had his apartment. So just outside of his apartment, there was a bomb exploded. It damaged the Jesuit monastery, its church, and even the neighboring city hall. Luckily, Tiso was not there. He was in Banovce. That night, Kepler received an order to do everything in Slovakia so that it would become independent. Tiso received an invitation for a conversation with Hitler at the office of the German Reich in Berlin. Tiso did accept the invitation because the Germans were literally threatening them. So after about 6 p.m. on the 13th of March, there were preliminary talks with German Foreign Minister von Ribbentrop and his diplomats. And then after that, the German Chancellor Adolf Hitler received Tiso. Their conversation lasted about 75 minutes. In his usual raging monologue, Hitler announced that he had decided to, quote, abolish the remaining Czech Republic. But his interest ended near the Carpathians, he said. If Slovakia would decide on independence, he was willing to recognize it and guarantee Slovakia its sovereignty. Otherwise, he said, he would leave Slovakia to its own fate. And just at that time, Minister von Ribbentrop laid before them an authentic incoming telegram which stated that Hungary was concentrating its army in the direction of the Slovak border. Hitler repeatedly emphasized that Slovaks must decide with blitzschnell, lightning speed, because the steamroller was already going, and nothing much can stop it. Tiso answered Hitler that he was very sorry, but he was not in a position to make such a decision about these matters because that belonged exclusively to the Slovak Parliament, and he went back to Bratislava. Slovak Parliament approved of Slovak independence, and that's how it happened. This was the background to the Slovakia's Declaration of Independence in 1939. As we can see, Hitler had already decided to dissolve Czechoslovakia, and he exerted immense pressure and threats on Tiso. Yet the Slovak leader still refused to declare independence without the consent of the parliament. He knew that Parliament had to act quickly because of the impending Hungarian invasion. If Parliament did not act, then Hungary, which already had occupied parts of southern Slovakia, would move in and take over the whole country. So the Germans had clearly pushed Slovakia to declare independence, and a few days later, a treaty of protection as well to prevent a Hungarian invasion. Nonetheless, the experience with Slovak self-rule had a lasting effect and never died away even after the war. Slovakia was reunited with the Czechs in a centralized Czechoslovakia, but with no hyphen. Ultimately, that experience with Slovak independence played an inspiring role in the second bout with independence, and in 1993, the world situation proved more favorable for the small state of Slovakia in Central Europe. Until next time, do počutia, which is a way of saying goodbye on the radio, and zbohom, the traditional way of Slovaks departing. Zbohom, do počutia.
Když se šel okolo háje zelenýho, já jsem si natral kvítí májovýho. Dudlaj, 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 da. Dudlaj, 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 da. Položil jsem si ho, kde má milá spala, lehl jsem si vedle ní, spali jsme do rána. Dudlaj, 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 da. Dudlaj, 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 da. Když bylo po roce, chodila po louce, nosila chlapečka strakatý peřince. Dudlaj, 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 da. Dudlaj, 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 da.
Walking around, or
Když jsem šel okolo.
An old Czechoslovakian folk song taken from Český Folklore, an old album recorded in 1968. Right now, here is
Prelom všetky múry by Julia Hečková.
Priateliek nemý telefon, oh. dievča, čo má iba 18, aj keď viacej snáď máš. Tak prelož všetky múry, kým sa v tebe búri. To dievča, čo má iba 18, aj keď viacej snáď máš. Buď na viacej máš, na viac iste máš.
You're listening to Notes of Slovakia with Slavomir Wojtyla of Bratislava, Slovakia, and yours truly, Mike Wojtyla of Cleveland, Ohio, USA. Here on Notes of Slovakia, we tell you we play everything from the past, present, and everything in between. We just heard a great song that was popular in 1989 all over Slovakia. It's time now for our third feature.
Past and present day Slovakia.
Hello, nazdar, ahoj. I am Slavomir Wojtyla and I want to introduce you some special informations about our homeland, Slovakia. I really hope you enjoy our show Notes of Slovakia, full of music and positive mood. Imagine Slovak miracle. Small group of 5.4 million people has own country and own language. 4 hours driving from south to north border and 8 hours driving from west to east border. I could say in present days people in Slovakia have the best time. Finally, we have democracy, freedom of travel, freedom of expression. We finally can own the property and the quality of common life is very good. But it's true, people had freedom of expression also in the communist age. But legal sanction became after the expression. Predstavte si slovenský zázrak. Malá skupinka ľudí v počte 5,5 milióna ľudí má vlastný štát a hovorí vlastným jazykom. 4 hodiny jazdy autom zo severu na juh, 8 hodín jazdy zo západu na východ stačí, aby ste dosiahli hranice. Napriek ťažkej minulosti a totalite môžem dnes potvrdiť, že Slováci si žijú oveľa lepšie ako kedykoľvek predtým. Konečne máme demokraciu, slobodu cestovania a slobodu prejavu. Aj keď je pravda, že aj za totality bola sloboda prejavu a nesloboda prišla po prejave. Last time I was talking to Mike funny story about jeans. You could say yourself, what is interesting about jeans? And you are right. But only a few decades ago, during the dark communist age, jeans in Czechoslovakia has a special social status. In Slovak language we call it rifle. In English pronunciation it is rifle. It is because wearing jeans in 17th and 80s was a social crime. For communist government, jeans was a symbol of bad Western imperialism. For people, it was a symbol of freedom. After 1968, were jeans banned for time. People were prescribed how to dress in public. You could wear jeans, if you had one, only in your free time. By the way, when we are talking about free time, people don't have a lot of free time, yes? During communist age, everybody must be employed. If you was walking on the street during a work time, you were legitimated by police officers. What are you doing here? You must have a paper from your employers that you are free of work for today, or had some paper from doctor that you are sick. If you don't have it, you could have been imprisoned as a sponger. Minule som sa s Majkom bavil o džínsoch. Môžete si povedať, čo je také zaujímavé na rifliach, ale pár desaťročí dozadu, počas temnej komunistickej éry, džínsy v Československu mali špeciálny status. Je to preto, lebo nosiť rifle v 70. a 80. rokoch bolo takmer spoločenský zločin. Pre komunistický režim boli symbolom západného imperializmu, Pre bežných ľudí zasa symbolom slobody. Po roku 1968 boli rifle dokonca na čas zakázané. Ľudia mali doslova predpísané, čo si môžu verejne obliekať. Ak ste mali rifle nosiť, ste ich smeli len vo voľnom čase. Inak, keď sme pri tom voľnom čase, ľudia ho zasa až tak veľa nemali, pretože museli byť zamestnaní zo zákona. Ak ste sa prechádzali po ulici, boli ste legitimovaní políciou, pričom ste sa museli preukázať dokladom od zamestnávateľa, že dnes ste uvoľnení z práce, alebo papierom od lekára, že ste chorí. Inak ste mohli skončiť v base ako príživník socialistickej vlasti. Hrozné toto. People must saving money for months to buy a horribly overpriced jeans on black market. Or you buy a special currency called bony and buy a jeans in special shopping centrum Tuzex, where you could find Western goods. Many times young people hide the jeans from parents and wear it outside when they went to pub or party Friday evening. When you wear it in school, your parents was summoned and it was very bad for you. In the best case, it finished only as a physical punishment at home. You could get a bad stamp of behavior and it could stop you to have a good high school or job career or traveling abroad in the future. Mladí šetrili na rifle celé mesiace, aby si ich mohli kúpiť predražené na čiernom trhu alebo získať bony a kúpiť si rifle v Tuzexe. Tuzex bol špeciálny obchod, kde ste si mohli nakúpiť tovar zo západných krajín. Častokrát mladí skrývali rifle pred rodičmi a obliekali si ich potajme, keď išli na večer von na zábavu. Ak ťa pristihli nosiť rifle v škole, bol to veľký problém, za ktorý ti hrozila zhoršená známka zo správania. Riaditeľ školy si predvolal tvojich rodičov. V lepšom prípade to skončilo výpraskom od otca doma, v tom horšom prípade spoločenskými a kariérnymi obmedzeniami v budúcnosti vo forme kádrového posudku. But if you wear a jeans, you was a king of street, as you own a car today. Girls followed you in rows, and you could choose between them. In the shop, you found only one brand jeans called Rifle. Or a rifle, made in Italy. And this is the reason why rifle, rifle, became the common phrase for jeans in Czechoslovakia. Nowadays is official word for jeans in Slovakia language jeansy, but people still using the common word rifle. Please listen to our next Noc of Slovakia show to hear about more interesting information about our homeland. Have a nice day. S prianím pekného dňa sa s vami lúči Slavomír Vojtila.
Otcovia aj zetci,
Vodička vyviera spod tej líščej skaly Baje Limbora.
The Slovak Tango Group from Banská Bystrica, Slovakia, consists of young and studied musicians who focus on the interpretation of the popular Slovak song from the 1930s to the 1950s. This Slovak Tango group has been active on the Slovak scene for several years. We're going to hear a song by them right now called Hadi Hadi. Enjoy.
Jako děcko jistě hrát, různé umýval díkánky. Dneska, když se jako velký stydí hrát, dává aspoň rád za zhádanky. Hádej, hádej, jen hádej hadači, co každému z lidí štěstí postačí. Hádej, hádej, jen hádej hadači, co má každý vždycky nejradši. Je to stará hádanka, tak stará jako svět, kde kdo na ní odpoví, když bude jenom chvilku přemýšlet. Hádej, hádej, jen hádej hadači, proč je první pusa nejsladší? Hádej, jen hádej hadači, co každému z lidí štěstí postačí. Hádej, hádej, jen hádej hadači, proč je první pusa nejsladší? Hádej, hádej.
Well, this is going to do it for today's edition of Notes of Slovakia. We thank you so much, Dakujem, for listening to our program today. Don't forget, if you like us, please like us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Notes of Slovakia. Don't forget, you can catch all of our shows and more information about our program on notesofslovakia.com. And we are on 4 different times throughout the week on 24/7polkaheaven.com.
Enjoy our show well. Please listen to our next Notes of Slovakia show to hear about more interesting information about our homeland. Have a nice day. Dobrý deň.
S Bohom, do počutia.